All right, we're going to do our third, maybe written by AI topic. Facial recognition was used to bar a lawyer, pun intended, from entering a venue. And this maybe doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but it's a big deal. A mother accompanying her daughter's Girl Scout troop to a Rockettes show at Radio City Music Hall in Manhattan over the Thanksgiving weekend was denied entry after facial recognition software allegedly identified her. So this is before submitting any kind of identification or ticket or anything. Kelly Conlon, imagine doing this to a lawyer on purpose. Yeah. Anyway, Kelly Conlon, the woman in question, works as a lawyer for a firm that is involved in a personal injury claim against MSG Entertainment, the group that owns the venue. She does not, however, practice in New York and is not involved in the particular case. So Conlon claims she was approached by security and asked to produce identification after passing through the metal detectors into the main lobby. A sign in the lobby does state that facial recognition technology is in use for the safety of guests and employees. Interesting. MSG Entertainment claims they have a policy that precludes attorneys pursuing active litigation against the company from attending events at our venues until that litigation has been resolved.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
The heck timeline are we on, Luke?
Imagine going into, I don't even know if these exist. Imagine going into an anchor, one random person who's never even heard of this story that works at one of the companies here, walking into an anchor store and being told to leave because they know that they're employed by the parent company of this company.
That has some kind of ongoing dispute.
Yeah.
Like, this can of worms...
It doesn't even have to be a dispute, right?
This can of worms is
open.
Wild. Yeah. Imagine any Sonos employee was to try to use a Google service. If they bought a Google Home and went to set it up and it used AI voice recognition to say, hey, we couldn't help noticing that you're such and such from Google's hardware division. Why don't you go F yourself? And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you later. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Discussion question. What are your feelings about facial recognition being used to bar people from events based on scraped data sets like this? When is it appropriate? When is it not? Where's the line?
This is bad. I don't know. I'm hotspotted.
Oh, okay.
I can check though. I'll check.
Jinx, you owe me a ride home.
I mean, that was the plan. I'm taking him for a ride in my new car.
Yeah.
Have you told anyone yet?
I haven't really talked about it yet.
I think that's the first
that's
public announcement.
That's the first public acknowledgement.
I don't know about appropriate, but one thing I'm going to throw out there is I think this might become a big thing for political events.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Because if you can keep protesters out by knowing what their affiliations are based on facial recognition,
where else they've been seen,
pairing that with public information like Twitter accounts or whatever else, and figuring out if you want to let people in, I think that's absolutely going to be a thing. I'm not going to take a stance on how I feel about the appropriateness of that. I just see that happening.
I see this coming down to like a Supreme Court tier, like First Amendment kind of thing in the U.S. And then I suspect Canada is going to pull their usual thing where we basically just
copy what the U.S. does.
Yeah, do whatever the U.S. does.
Yeah. We're a super cool independent country and we advance directly in step with the U.S.
Sometimes we ignore what they do, which is good.
Yeah.
Other times we ignore what they do and it's not as good.
Yeah.
Anywho, the point is that I think this is headed for the Supreme Court because I think ultimately there's going to be like a personal rights argument from both sides. On the one hand, discriminating against someone based on their profession or their place of work seems like pretty open shut. But on the other hand, to tell a venue that they do not have the right to refuse service to an individual customer on their own bloody property also seems pretty open and shut, right?
It's weird.
There's a strong argument both
Weird.
ways. Strong argument.
There's a lot of technological stuff coming out right now that
The law is so far behind.
Yes.
And it doesn't help that half of the legislators in the Western world are septuagenarians, as far as I can tell.
no idea what's going on.
No idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And even the younger ones, quite frankly, could stand to be a little more tech savvy based on a lot of the C-SPAN that I've seen.
Yep.